A video that's been way overdue, Batman in 2023. Let's get this party started. Hello heroes and villains, welcome to Multiverse. So for a long time, this was the official Batman gear we had in DC Universe Online. Now luckily later on, we got some better options. I already have a whole bunch of videos about the Batman and how you can recreate the diverse Batman looks. I'll put a link to those videos in the description down below. At character creation, this is about as close to our friend the Batman as you can get when you create your character. So everything you see here, you can get straight at character creation. But then there is a few styles you can get from the marketplace. The first one we'll take a look at is the Dark Knight Calls pack. So it gives you the official Batman call for your character. So for the Dark Knight Call pack, the price is $2 on the marketplace. $180 if you are a subscriber. If you are a subscriber, you get 10% off from the marketplace. If somehow you don't want to spend $2 for the Batman call, don't worry, there are other options. Again, we'll take a look at those in just a minute. So you have the Dark Knight Call, which covers the neck of the character, or you can just get the helm if somehow you don't want to cover the neck of the character. But usually I pretty much always go for the call. So when we did get the call, we finally had an official Batman call for our Batman character. Early on, we did not have a proper Batman emblem, so for quite a bit my character was using the protege chest piece as opposed to using an emblem. In the marketplace we also have the Dark Spectre Batsuit 2018. Basically they took the Dark Spectre Batsuit and they made an updated version. For the Dark Spectre 2018 Batsuit, you have to buy it from the marketplace and it'll cost you $5 on the marketplace. $4.50 if you are a subscriber. So for the Dark Spectre Batsuit, I have to admit I much prefer the newer version. It has some much better texture than the older version. Also the way the colors are separated. So I've assigned 3 colors to each pieces of the style, and I've assigned the same colors to both styles so that you can see really the difference on how the colors are separated on both styles. But what if you don't want to spend $5 on the marketplace? What if you want to purchase the original version? So originally you can purchase the style from our friend Batgirl in the Watchtower. Although to purchase it from Batgirl you have to be a hero character. So you will have to purchase the gear from the Batgirl vendor. Although once you do purchase the gear once, you do get the discount afterwards. So this is the price once it is discounted. So if you go to the vendor and you see the prices are a bit more expensive, it's because you did not collect the style just yet in order to be able to get the discount. And to be able to purchase the gear from Batgirl, you have to be combat rating 43. And I can already hear you ask, what if you are an evil villain? Where can you purchase the style? If you are an evil villain, an option would be to get the style with a hero character, then use replay badges to purchase the style for your villain character, or you could come here to the House of Legends and come see your friend Red Tornado. So you can see the Dark Spectre Batsuit, and it'll cost you 10 source marks for each piece of the style. Although also you can see that the style is account bound, so you could easily purchase the style with one character and give it to another one of your characters if you want to. So for quite some time this was the Batman inspired style we had in the game. But eventually they gave us the new 52 Batgirl style that works well enough for a Batman type character. We used to get this style from the Prometheum mod boxes. The emblem and the aura are not part of the style, so in order to make sure that I don't confuse people, this is what the style looks like by itself. So if you go to your friend Dr. Fate, you go to styles. So you will have to scroll a bit to get to the styles. You can see the Daring Vigilante style. So it's going to cost you 100 Fate token for each pieces of the style. So these days, this is where you can get the style. So this is the official new 52 Batgirl style, and for some reason the cape is called the Batgirl's cape as opposed to their Daring Vigilante cape. But it is the same style. You can see style Daring Vigilante. And since we're already with our friend Dr. Fate, you'll see the Batman inspired mask. I guess we could call it the Balkan mask. Now let's give it 3 colors. If you ever saw videos by the almighty Balkan, this is the mask he's been using for years and years and years now. This used to be an exclusive mask that was given to people who went through what was called the hack, the Sony hack. Basically way back when there was the Sony hack, where the Sony servers were hacked by some evil hackers. And the servers were down for a month and a half. So obviously people could not play DC Universe Online during that time. So they gave this mask to everyone who could not play for a month and a half. At the time, it pretty much was the best Batman mask we had in the game, but as time went by, we got some better masks later on. Also, there is some Batman inspired t-shirts from Batman Day that were added to the Dr. Fate vendor. And you can see you can get those t-shirts for 200 Fate tokens. So you can see the Batman t-shirts here. So the Batman 80 years t-shirt. That's a cool enough t-shirt. The Bat Swarm t-shirt. I kind of like this one. I kind of like to use the Bat Swarm t-shirt to create a sort of alternate version of Batman Beyond. The Bat Signal t-shirt. It could almost give you a nice Batman emblem. Sadly, the white part of the t-shirt and the emblem is color locked. You can only change the colors of like the shoulders and the sleeves. I thought maybe we could use a material to bypass that restriction, but not really. And the Batman painted logo t-shirt. Again, the colors are color locked, but let's see if we can use a material on this one. I guess we could use the Detective Vinyl Neon Chroma 3. So it could almost work to recreate a Batman type character, but again, it is a t-shirt, so there's nothing really covering the arms of the character. And if we take a look at our friend Dr. Fate once more, there's also a few things we can look at, like the gloves of clinging. These are items that used to be in the vault way back when, that now you can get from our friend Dr. Fate. For a while these were pretty popular. It was one of the few Batman gloves we had in the game. And there's also the Batwoman t-shirt, the Batman hoodie, and why not, the Batman boxers. For quite a while this was the less bad option we had if we wanted to have a Batman emblem. But again, yes, it is a t-shirt, and technically it is pretty much the Batman Beyond emblem. So way back when, people would use this to recreate our friend Batman Beyond. For quite a while, this was the t-shirt people were using to recreate a sort of Batman Beyond character in DC Universe Online. Obviously now we have the official Batman Beyond style in the game. There's the Batman hoodie that for a long time had the best Batman emblem in the game. Sadly, as you can see, it is a hoodie with the big pouch and everything. And of course, the Batman boxers. The devs sometimes try to be a bit silly, and this is a great example of that. And we also have the future Batman style. This one comes from the very first time capsule we had. We got this Batman style. Of course, there's a regular version of the style, and there is the enhanced version of the style. Although using black with an enhanced version, not a good idea. So there you go, so you can see some of the shiny bits like the shiny emblem a little bit better. Also you can see there's a texture in the cape. It's a pretty cool texture. You could try to buy it from the broker, but you can also get it from Booster Gold. So it comes from the very first time capsule, and obviously you will need some quarks in order to be able to purchase the gear. Oh, I almost forgot, for the enhanced version of the future Batman style, it is actually the Batman style you get from the Gotham City starter pack. So you can see the Future Crusader. It's actually the enhanced version of the Future Crusader that you do get from that pack. Another style we have is the Flashpoint Batman style, although here this is not the official Flashpoint Batman style. Even before we got the Flashpoint Batman style, we could create a pretty good Flashpoint Batman in this series online. So this here is the Flashpoint Batman style, although the emblem is not included, and the emblem is a bit small in the style, and sadly, I'm not sure why they made it that small, but oh well. But we'll take a look at the emblems a bit later. So here we can see the official Flashpoint Batman style in DC Universe Online. And of course, there is an enhanced version of the style. So here we have the enhanced version of the Flashpoint Batman style. So you can see there's some shiny bits added to it, and also there's two colors on the cape, and all that good stuff. The Flashpoint Batman style comes from the Knights of Vengeance time capsule. It is the Knight of Vengeance gear, which at this point pretty much means that you have to buy it from the broker. Eventually it will be added to the Booster Gold vendor, but it's not on the Booster Gold vendor just yet. And we can make a pretty cool evil Black Lantern Batman in this Universe Online at this point. Although we do have an official Black Lantern Batman style in the game. We even have the weapon that was added quite some time ago. There's also the weapon in the back of the character that was added at some point. But I much prefer the Black Lantern weapon. You can get the style from Lobo in the Death Metal Washington DC map. So you will have to purchase the gear using Death Metal coins, Although the prices will be more expensive than what you see here, once you do purchase the style once, then you do get a discount if you want to purchase the gear for your alternate role. There is also an enhanced version of the style. Sadly, we did get the enhanced version from the daily rewards some time ago, so at this point, you cannot really get the style just yet. At some point, I assume it will be added to the Dr. Fate vendor, but at this point, we don't really know. We also got the Sandstorm of Vengeance call from the Dr. Fate's daily rewards. For the call, it should be added to the Dr. Fate vendor after a few months. Basically, it is the Desert Batman call. We already could create a pretty good version of Desert Batman in this universe online, but now we do have an official call in order to be able to do that. You could also use the call to recreate a sort of Batman from JSA The Liberty Files, or even maybe Gotham by Gaslight. Yeah, technically, in Gotham by Gaslight, Batman did not have glasses, but it still kind of works as a retro type of Batman character. But of course, if you really want to recreate Batman from Gotham by Gaslight, then you can use one of the other calls. For the emblems, as I mentioned, we did not have a Batman emblem for quite a while, and then at some point, our prayers have been answered. We got the BVS Batman emblem. We actually had a BVS bundle that had Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman emblem. Sadly, that bundle was on the marketplace only for about 1 month, and then it was no longer available. So sadly, the emblem you see right now is no longer in the game. If you already purchased the emblem, that's fine, you can use it. But sadly, if you don't already have the emblem, you cannot get it anymore. It's sad, but that's how it is. With the BVS pack, there was also a worn version of the emblems. Sadly, like the rest of the BVS emblems, this emblem is no longer available. And sadly, the same is true with the Batman 80th Anniversary emblem. Basically, we got this emblem for the 80th anniversary of Batman, but it was available only for a limited amount of time. Although people are hoping that the emblem will come back, basically we got the 80th anniversary emblem of Superman that did come back this year. This year was the 85th anniversary of Superman. So hopefully maybe next year for the 85th anniversary of Batman, maybe we will get the emblem again for Batman. We don't know just yet. But there is the Batman Rebirth emblem that is still available in the game. If you're lucky, you could get it on the broker, although it was a bit expensive on the broker. Your less bad option would be to buy it from our friend Booster Gold. There is the regular version of the emblem, and there is the enhanced version of the emblem. Let's use the Stalwart Defender chest so that we can get a good look at the emblem. So you could decide to try to purchase the emblem from the broker, or you could just buy it from our friend Booster Gold. So again, there is the enhanced version of the emblem, and the regular version of the emblem. There is the Flashpoint Batman emblem also that you could use as a Batman emblem if you want to. Sadly at this point, you have to get it from the broker. It should be added to the Booster Gold vendor at some point, but it hasn't been added just yet. There's also the 6th Dimension Batman emblem we had for Batman Day a couple of years ago. Sadly again, it was available only for a short amount of time, and an enhanced version of the emblem. But sadly, if you don't already have it, there's no way to be able to get it at this point. For the emblem, there's also a few emblems you can get from the anniversary event. There's the emblem from the Drowned that if you tweak it a bit, you can sort of recreate the classic Batman emblem. The same with the Merciless. For the Murder Machine, it's a bit more tricky. I didn't crack it just yet, but eventually I'll find a way to use this emblem. And of course, there is the enhanced version of those emblems. Another item that is worth mentioning is the Dark Defender Gauntlet. Yeah, at this point we have the gauntlets from Batman Beyond that could be used, from Future Batman, from Flashpoint Batman, but the Dark Defender was one of the better options we had for quite a while. Although it does look like a mechanical pair of gauntlets, but it does have the 3 fins that our friend the Batman should have. In order to be able to get the gauntlets, you will have to gather the briefings from Family Reunion and from Brothers in Arms. And one more thing, the Batwoman cape. It's pretty much the best Batman cape we had early on in the game. At this point we have the Batgirl cape, the Knights of Vengeance cape, the Future Batman cape that could work, but way back when, all we had was the Batwoman cape. In order to be able to get the cape, you have to enter the Temple of Crime and you have to defeat Bruno Mannheim, and sadly you only have a chance to get the cape as a random drop. I'm not sure how low the drop is, I would say it's probably something like 5%. So odds are you will have to fight and fight and fight Bruno Mannheim over and over until you actually do get the cape. The easiest option is usually to just buy it from the broker. Here you can see it for almost 20 million. I have to give my jewel broker warning, prices on the broker changes all the time. These are the prices on the broker right now. Tomorrow, next week, next month, like later tonight, the prices could be different. One of the material that's pretty popular to use with the Batman is the Void material. You can use it to make a pretty good approximation of Batman from the animated series. Or if you put it black, it creates a pretty cool looking effect to get a Batman with a nice black cowl. Sadly you cannot apply the material to just the short shorts, it's sad but that's how it is. Sadly at this point the material is pretty much impossible to get from the broker, so you pretty much have no choice, you have to get it from our friend Booster Gold. As you can see it is pretty expensive, it'll cost you over 5,000 quarks to buy the material. An option would be to wait, once in a while we do get like a 20% off from the quarks vendor, so if you're patient enough you could get it for about 4,000 quarks. Another alternative would be to use the black roll chroma. It does create an effect not unlike the void material. And for the gloves and the boots, you will have to get a style that only has one color channel because it is a chroma material. So you can see there's a gold channel, a black channel, and a white channel. And for your friend the Batman, all you want is the black color channel. Although there is the detective vinyl neon chroma material that seems to be made specifically to create a more classic version of Batman. So this is pretty darn close to the classic version of Batman in this Universal 9 using the material. Sadly for the pants you have to use the net pants. Like here you can see what the pants look like, but once you apply the material, it doesn't really matter. Normally the New Genesis pants would be used to recreate Batman, sadly none of the color choices with the material actually works. And recently we got the Astro Slimline pants, which sadly have a similar issue than the New Genesis pants. So the less bad option is to use the net pants for the character. And even then we can still see a little bit of texture within the pants. So the best option might be to just not use the material for the pants and the chest, you decide. And one last thing, the Batman weapon style. At some point they started adding iconic weapon styles in the game, and we got a pretty awesome style for our friend the Batman. Sadly, normally Batman, when you create Batman from the character creation, if you do select Batman as a premium character, Batman uses martial arts, but with the weapon you have to go either with one-handed weapon, or in this case here, dual wielding the batarangs. But we can now get some pretty awesome looking batarangs for our Batman character. So you can see the batarangs dual wield for 500,000. The one-handed is almost at 10 million somehow. Don't buy it for 10 million. Here you can see you can get the weapon box for 1.5 million. So once you do get the box, you can choose if you want to get the dual wield version or the one-handed version. So don't fall for it, don't pay 10 millions, just buy it for 1.5 million. Here we have the Batman side staff for 1 million. You saw it with my Black Lantern character a bit earlier. I mentioned the Rebirth emblem earlier, so you can see it's a bit pricey, but it goes down to 15 million. There's the emblem of the Batman Who Laughs, but I'll make a Batman Who Laughs video at some point. The same with Flashpoint Batman. Although here you can see the Flashpoint Batman emblem goes down to 2 million. Oh, and one last thing, if you're wondering about the little plane that follows me around, or actually I should mention also the little plane over here. I could have sworn we got it from the Gotham City starter pack, but I don't see listed here. The Batwing accessory does come from the Gotham City starter pack. Not sure why it's not listed in the description. And for the other Batplane that you saw earlier flying around, I can find it somehow. You actually need to gather briefings. No, there it is. There's a series of investigation that you need to gather in Gotham and Metropolis. I'll have a video about that. I'll put a link to that video in the description below. It'll show you which investigation you need to gather. And you can see the other two Batplane base items. These come from the marketplace. And I guess there's one other Batplane that I should show.
Commence extreme eradication sequence.
I'm not sure what that was about. A couple years ago for Batman Day, we did get a trinket in order to be able to turn into a Batplane so that we could fly around Gotham or Metropolis if we want to. So it is a little trinket we got for Batman Day in 2020. Sadly at this point there's no way to be able to get it, but I thought I should mention it because in a couple of videos I did use it in a few videos and people were wondering where did you get that Batplane from? That is where. And I guess one more thing I should mention, if you want to be able to recreate Batman from the 1989 movie, you will need to use the stealth material. The stealth material allows you to get the rubbery look that the 1989 Batman has with his costume. The bad news is that you will have to get it from the Space and Time vendor right next to Booster Gold. And it is a pretty expensive material to get. Again, it is a bit over 5,000 quarks. And of course, you can create your own version of Batman. And this is my scuba gear version of Batman, basically using the scuba gear we can get from the summer seasonal. If you're going to play some missions in Atlantis, you need your scuba gear Batman. You need it. So this pretty much covers the Batman for 2023. If you have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions. Also, I made a whole bunch of Batman related videos. I will put a link to some of those videos in the description down below. But you can decide to search my videos if you want to know more about how to create the Batman in this universe online.